Born on April 14, 1891 in the town of Mhau in the Central Provinces, now in Madhya Pradesh, India, Bhimrao Ramji Ambedkar was the 14th child of his parents, Ramji Maloji Sakpal, an army officer, and Bhimabai. His birth into a Dalit Mahar family meant facing the stigmas of caste discrimination from an early age. Despite these challenges, Ambedkar's father, who had risen to the rank of Subedar, believed strongly in education. This belief was instilled in young Bhimrao, setting him on a path of intellectual pursuit that would eventually challenge and transform the social fabric of India. Ambedkar's early life in Mhau, though marked by hardship and social ostracization, was also where the seeds of his resilience and determination were sown, as he began to navigate and confront the deeply entrenched caste barriers of Indian society. In school, he was often made to sit apart from his peers and denied access to basic amenities like water, which had to be poured for him to avoid touching the vessel. These early experiences of social exclusion and injustice profoundly impacted Ambedkar, shaping his resolve to fight against caste-based discrimination. During his teenage years, Bhimrao Ambedkar's experiences of caste discrimination fueled both his intellectual awakening and activism. His keen interest in social issues was evident in his voracious reading and deep reflections on caste inequalities. In 1913, a significant turning point came in Bhimrao Ambedkar's life when he embarked on an educational journey to the United States, a move that would greatly influence his ideological development. Awarded a scholarship by the Baroda state, Ambedkar enrolled at Columbia University in New York City, an environment vastly different from the one he had known in India. Soon after arriving there, he settled in rooms at Livingston Hall with Naval Bathina, a Parsi who was to be a lifelong friend. He passed his MA exam in June 1915, majoring in economics and other subjects of sociology, history, philosophy, and anthropology, absorbing the progressive thoughts of scholars like John Dewey. Ambedkar received his PhD degree in economics at Columbia in 1927. Also in 1923, he was called to the bar to practice law, which was a culmination of his enrollment to Gray's Inn in 1916. As Ambedkar was educated by the princely state of Baroda, he was bound to serve it. He was appointed military secretary to the Gaikwad of Baroda, but had to quit in a short time. In 1924, Bhimrao Ambedkar took a significant step in his crusade for social justice by establishing the Bahishkrit Hitakarini Sabha. This organization was dedicated to improving the socio-economic status of the marginalized communities, particularly the Dalits. The Sabha aimed to provide education, enhance welfare, and advocate for equal rights. In 1927, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar led a groundbreaking event in the struggle for social equality with the Mahad Satyagraha. This protest was organized to assert the rights of the untouchable community to access public water sources, specifically the Chavdar tank in Mahad, Maharashtra. Between 1930 and 1932, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar played a pivotal role at the Round Table conferences in London, representing the interests of the Dalit community in the discussions on Indian constitutional reform. These conferences were a critical platform for negotiating India's future governance structure as part of the British Empire's gradual move towards granting India more self-governance. Initially, in 1932, the British colonial government agreed to Ambedkar's demand for separate electorates for Dalits as part of the communal award. However, this decision was vehemently opposed by Mahatma Gandhi, who went on a hunger strike, arguing that separate electorates would divide Hindu society. The ensuing negotiations led to the Pune Pact, where Ambedkar, under immense pressure and to avoid a potential split in the Hindu community, agreed to joint electorates with a larger number of reserved seats for the Dalits. In 1936, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar founded the Independent Labour Party, ILP, marking a significant expansion of his crusade for social justice into the realm of workers' rights and economic equality. The ILP was established as a platform to address the issues faced by laborers and the working class, who were often marginalized in the political discourse of the time. Under Ambedkar's leadership, the party quickly gained traction, particularly among the Dalit and lower caste communities. The ILP participated actively in elections, advocating for labor rights, fair wages, and improved working conditions. Around the same time, he came up with a speech called Annihilation of Caste, which was undelivered but was later self-published in 1936. The subject of the speech was based on the harmful effects of casteism in the Hindu society. In 1945, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar founded the People's Education Society, an initiative reflecting his strong belief in education as a tool for social transformation. Recognizing that education was pivotal in empowering marginalized communities, Ambedkar established this society to provide quality education to those who were traditionally denied access to it, especially the Dalits and other underprivileged sections of society. His contributions to India's economic planning and water policy are often overshadowed by his more celebrated work in law and social justice, yet they are crucial aspects of his legacy. As a member of the Viceroy's Executive Council, Ambedkar was responsible for water policy and electricity. He played a key role in envisioning and planning multi-purpose river valley projects, and his efforts laid the groundwork for future projects like the Damodar Valley Corporation and the Bakra Nangal Dam. His contribution to India's future in water management is not often credited. Upon India's independence on the 15th of August, 1947, the new Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru invited Ambedkar to serve as the Dominion of India's Law Minister. 2 weeks later, he was appointed chairman of the drafting committee of the Constitution for the future Republic of India, something that is considered to be his biggest contribution. The Constitution, adopted on November 26, 1949, and enacted on January 26, 1950. His insistence on secularism, gender equality, and the abolition of untouchability reflected his vision of an inclusive and just society. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's fight for the Hindu Code Bill in the late 1940s and early 1950s was a monumental effort towards modernizing Hindu personal laws and promoting gender equality in India. As the country's first law minister, Ambedkar championed this progressive legislation to overhaul outdated practices, advocating for women's rights and equality in matters of marriage, divorce, property, and inheritance. These moves garnered him the image of a feminist icon, something that is not talked much about him today. Disenchanted with the systemic caste discrimination in Hinduism, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar converted to Buddhism in a public ceremony in Nagpur on October 14, 1956, signaling a significant move towards advocating for a society free from caste-based divisions. From his early struggles against caste discrimination to his monumental role in framing the Indian Constitution, his legacy continues to inspire those who seek justice and equality. Dr. Ambedkar's story is not just a testament to his extraordinary intellect and resilience, but also a beacon of hope for millions fighting against social injustices. The pursuit of equality and social reform is an ongoing journey, and each one of us can contribute in our own way. Let that sink in. Save this to watch it tomorrow again as a reminder. Comment on which of these facts are new to you. Subscribe for more such content.